Matter of fact, dog, here's a pencil. Go home, write some shit, make it suspenseful. Don't come back until something dope hits you. Fuck it. You could take the mic home with you. Looking like a cyclone hit you. Tank top screaming lotto, I don't fit you.
Little 8 Mile to start the day.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Jimmy
Hyped
has
and
a
right,
dish tech there, so he's not gonna fucking be here. So I'm gonna lay into him about his bullshit on The Walking Dead. So Burns, I think Burns pointed that out, or somebody else. Actually, it was somebody else. So on The Walking Dead, this season so far is the lowest rated season since the first season, aka the beginning, before it even got fucking popular. You know,
Yeah, someone
lowest
tagged us in that.
fucking rated so far to date. If you were an investor in the show, would that concern you?
It might.
Would that concern you for future results? What if
It
you
might.
just invested in the show last season? Would that fucking concern you?
A little bit.
Oh,
I would imagine if you woke up and saw that article and you had just invested, you'd be pretty anxious.
Yeah, because investing is, you don't invest based off previous results, but you invest off the future. Now, I mean, I'm sure Jimmy, if he was here on the fucking show, would come out and say, well, dude, they already made a lot of money. Well, you don't fucking care about the previous money you made. If you're investing on future results. You should care about the fucking product. If I invest into Colby to go do a job for me, Colby's doing this job and it's making me money. Cool, I'm happy. But if things are obviously on the downturn, I'm going to be fucking concerned because what the fuck? I'm not going to make as much money as I did in the past based on the future.
Well,
So-
you can use YouTube as an example, right? Let's take you and your prime.
Oh, I had some thoughts conjured
I
up
think
for
that,
Jimmy, but I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
I think Jimmy is still so in love with the show, and he just can't admit that it's fucking trash.
Yeah,
it's bad.
he has to know that like it's not as good.
Like
Yeah.
here is the show from season 4 till now. Go to a place, have a whole confrontation with these people, fight them at the end. Next season, go to a different place, same thing. Next season, go to a different place, same thing. That's all it is now.
Exactly,
No,
but then they lost like the zest with like, hey, this motherfucker, you had no clue he was gonna die, and he's fucking dead. You know.
Right.
So let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way. Like as somebody who enjoys the show, I'm invested time wise into the show. Jimmy's theory is that anybody invested obviously monetary versus time wise, and me being a fan is way different. You should fucking care about the product that you are invested in. Me and Colby have made it's just like any fucking investor that sits back and makes money. Like if I'm invested in Amazon, yes, I probably made a fuck ton of money, but once they start doing some wild crazy shit, I'm looking back here and be like, all right, Amazon's kind of getting shit on right now. I should definitely be concerned about my future investment.
So imagine if you were like you're an investor of this and you see it's going down. You should go to the producers and be like, are you guys going to wrap this season up, or are we going to find a direction where this show remains
Exactly.
popular?
In his theory, Jimmy's theory was only the money should fucking matter. And that is not how bangers happen. If
You have
you're-
to have a good product to make the money, though.
If you are getting into YouTube and you're gonna sit there and make fucking content and make money, or with the only the mindset of making money, like I don't give a fuck about this content, I just want to make money.
You won't make it.
You're not gonna make it in shit, and that comes with like if you. Obviously, if you are the investors or whoever's fucking making the big time money for Walking Dead, which are the people at the top, like there's a difference between like an investor that has no influence and then an investor that has influence. Like these investors have influence, but like I don't have influence on Amazon. So if shit's like going downhill, like my influence is taking my money out and selling my stock, So there's a difference, but these people at Walking Dead at the top have fucking major influence. And his whole argument is, why would they give a fuck when they're making money? Now they're not going to be making money. Now they're going to have to go figure out something else to do because this show.
You have to think about the advertisers as well. I mean, if you're spending ad dollars on this show, aren't you going to come to the
which the ad dollars are based off a certain viewership.
Yeah, so aren't you going to come to the people at the top that are making all that money and be like, look, I'm not getting the ROI that I want,
Yeah, the
prime time.
advertisers have to pull out, or
I should be getting a certain amount of return on my investment in the prime time slot.
And that's what I was saying. It's like everybody should care. Like everybody involved in the project should fucking care about their product. If anybody listening to the show listen to any of that advice from Jimmy, which is just complete dog shit advice that you shouldn't care about what you're doing, if you listen to him, I hate you. I fucking hate you.
Well,
that was such terrible advice especially for younger dudes. Don't be like, the only thing that fucking matters is the money. Want to know why? Because you'll go and do something and you won't have a passion for doing that, and it's gonna be dog shit. If you don't have a passion for doing it, it's gonna be a fucking dog shit product.
Well, because you're chasing the money. Well, he made a good point at the start where I agree with him, and then he kept pushing that it was all about these. They don't care, because you're right. At some point, you have to care down the line, or it's gonna fail. That's literally that's how stuff fails.
Yeah, and you can't just sit there and soak in like the holy shit, like, man, but we just did so good. We made so much money this last year. But I mean, I would say that everybody agrees, like, making money isn't just about in that fucking moment. Yes, like if you somehow make a huge sum of money, you know, in an instant, you know, then okay, you can be like, fuck yeah, that was awesome, I don't care. But like anything you do, you don't just want to you don't get a job and be like, all right, I just want to make a lot of money this year, and then I don't give a fuck after that, you know? Like, it's all based off longevity. Like if you want to invest into something, like, you want that to be, you know, spread out over a long period of time. It's not like you just hit a big banger and you're just like, fuck it, I'm done, you know? I mean, there's some people on YouTube that basically like make a video once like iDubbbz. Like, he makes a video once every like couple months, big time banger, but you know, there's still like longevity to it, even though on that one video he's probably making a shitload of money, you know, but he's still, you know, consistently, and his product he's not like, well, fuck, like my YouTube heyday's over, like I'll just fucking crank out videos type of stuff, you know? There's longevity is the big part of it. Everybody wants fucking longevity. So too bad Jimmy can't sit here and defend himself because the fucking dish man is there.
Hey, can we talk about let's get political for just 30 seconds here.
Oh, fucking hit me with the I'm going right now.
This is crazy, all right? So you guys have all watched crime shows. You guys have all watched movies. Every Jason Bourne movie, all of them. This stuff that's going on in Saudi Arabia,
it's crazy,
is 100% a Jason Bourne script. And now today,
fill me in. I'm
okay.
I'll fill him in. So
basically, then Burns, and I got breaking news after you fill him in. This just happened before the show.
We're breaking it.
It was broken 13 minutes ago, but then
there was this journalist, and I think was he a full-time employee of the Washington Post, or he wrote columns for the Washington Post.
Well-known, well-respected journalist too, which is key to this, because it's not just
he's from Saudi Arabia, and he's been kind of critical of the Saudi Arabian regime, and he said he was critical of President Trump or whatever. So they banned him from going back to his own country in Saudi Arabia. And then I think he was in Turkey, like the Turkish consulate or something like that.
Yeah. So then he wanted to divorce his Saudi wife to marry his new fiance, which is the one from Istanbul. And then he went. So then he went
to Turkey, and the Saudis basically kidnapped him.
Hit squad him.
They tortured him with a chainsaw, I believe.
A bone saw,
and killed him. And now they're like covering it up.
The body and are covering it up. So here's what's crazy though.
I thought you were gonna say he like got out of it and whooped all their asses and shit. So
well, no one knows. He could be. I mean, that'd be sweet.
Nah, he sounds like he's pretty fucking dead.
The crazy thing is so now, Saudi's the Saudi crown prince, MBN, whatever. I can't think of his real name right now. He is like, we didn't do it, you know, like we're innocent, but then they're always also doing like a bunch of shady stuff. So another thing is like, so these guys they have video of these guys getting off like planes from Saudi to Turkey, and they were only there in the place for like 14 hours, right? Oh, and they're like hitmen and stuff. But then their excuse was, oh, we just wanted to, like, it was a tourist thing. It's like, what are you seeing in 8 hours of time? So then there's that. But now there's like a lot of the political stuff, which is kind of getting crazy, is you can't like, Saudi is starting like, you know, big ally, and they're trying to like do this whole new movement 2030. It was like the new regime, like trying to be better, let women drive, all this stuff. So they have like, they're like trying to be better, you know?
Let
But
women drive.
yeah, that's like their big thing. They let the women drive. But so like Trump and all these people were supporting it, and now they're kind of like so UFC, they pulled out of a $400 million deal with the Saudi guys until they get this stuff figured out. WWE is still going there. They have like a $250 million deal to go do like 10 shows. It's just crazy. Still, a lot of people are like pulling out and doing this stuff. But here's what happened this morning, or so 13 minutes ago. This was reported by New York Post. One of the Saudi men who arrived in Turkey the day of the disappearance mysteriously dies in an automotive accident today.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that's pretty much. So one of the 15
taking out all the loose ends, huh?
Oh yeah. So one of the 15 Saudis who arrived in Turkey the same day as the reporter has died in a suspicious traffic accident, and the Saudi consul in Istanbul could be the next execution, according to Turkish media reports. Now they're going back for all the loose ends, dude. This is literally a movie, but it's like really happening. It's kind of scary.
I was excited for a second because the initial dude you were talking about, I'm like, this is fucking sick. Like, he gets captured and he gets out, and even though they're torturing him with a chainsaw, then you're just like, he died.
Well, we think he still could be
he's
alive.
Dead.
Somewhere.
He's 100% dead. 100%.
Supposedly, there's
I just thought it was going like somebody said Jason Bourne. I'm like, fuck,
he was talking about the journalist that died.
Yeah, no. I was saying it was pretty fucking like I was all pumped up for this dude to whoop some ass, and then you're just like,
more sad.
They fucking cut him up with a chainsaw, and I'm like, oh.
But the way the news media goes, so everyone will forget about this next week.
Oh yeah,
dude. Yeah, it's probably already.
I gave a shit about.
Yeah,
you know,
probably already forgotten.
What's crazy is like how like it's like it shows like how much like protection like the president and like imagine all the fucked up shit like that they come out with. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, what could they literally say about Trump and then everyone would be like the motherfucker barely has paid any taxes on his fortune. Like,
let me try one.
Isn't that a massive red flag?
No, I'll tell that story. So like this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. The New York Times said like they had like a year-long investigation into his taxes, and basically like he has been illegally evading taxes for like his whole life. And that should be, you would think that would be like a huge deal, right? A huge red flag.
Yeah.
No one cares about it 2 weeks later.
Nobody cares about anything.
Let me give you another one. All right. Let's say that you're a happily married man in your third marriage, right? And then it comes out that you might have cheated on your wife during that marriage, right? With a porn star, right? And then not only did you cheat on her, then you had your lawyer go like pay this porn star, right, to like hide it, and then you call her. Then you call her like horseface on Twitter when you're the president of the United States. Would that change your opinion on the president? Because that really happened. It
doesn't matter what he does. No one cares.
The dude could do. He could probably go.
There literally could be a video of him with this woman, and it could be the most grotesque shit you've ever seen in your entire life, and people will forget about it by Friday.
Remember when now we're talking like, I don't give a fuck. I actually think it makes it more entertaining that our president does some wild shit. I'm not like a politics dude. It's not like I'm going to sit here and like, I don't agree with his stance on this. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm the type of person that when somebody, I believe when somebody gets placed into office, they get a big fist stuck in their ass and they're just basically a puppet. Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't seem like Trump's being quite the puppet. He's just kind of just the same exact like dude. And I just think about it, I'm like, how in the fuck is he our like, he's not even like a politician. Like, how the fuck is he our president?
I can't even believe he's a real person.
Yeah. Not only that is, I think he's gonna win again. I believe.
I don't think
that
so.
might be difficult. I mean,
well, there's no one that can run against him on the other side, is what the article I read said.
But I just remember
like 2 years out though.
And like I said, I don't give a shit about like politic based stuff. But then I remember like Howard Dean or something. Dean, dude, like he literally like people went against him because he just yelled funny at a rally. He's like, yeah. And he yelled funny at a rally, and people are like, that's why, like, he was the front runner until he did that. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, how is this, like, this dude, he literally got, like, caught saying, like, grab her by the pussy. And like I said, I don't give a shit that he's president. But from, like, a person that doesn't give a shit looking on the outside, I'm like, all right, like, maybe, like, we shouldn't, like, put into office like this dude that's caught on camera. It's like saying he's gonna grab somebody by the pussy. Like the other dude that he was just talking to about it lost his job.
The thing I don't understand. So like, you know, you don't give a shit about politics or whatever, but like you think like when people that do, you think like when they look at a candidate, they think I want someone that's gonna make my life easier, right, or
Yeah.
better. And like you see all these like, because you got a lot of like really like rural like country people, like not very well educated, like kind of just stuck. You kind of graduate from high school and you go to the factory or whatever, and
Yeah.
they're just like kind of down in the in a shithole trying to get themselves out. And the guy they think that's gonna give a shit about them is some dude who has a golden toilet in a fucking tower.
Oh yeah, it's weird. It's he.
But that's how dumb people are, though.
Well, that's all I was about to say. Is it's crazy because Kyle made the perfect point. Is it's to the point where you couldn't believe it happened, but now it's so dumb that it didn't happen sooner. Like I completely understand why he won.
Yeah, isn't it crazy?
It also
I
scares
wonder how
me.
many assassination attempts have been made on him.
Oh,
Like,
there's
I
probably
think it happens to like if you think about it, like the amount of presidents we've had and how many have had either an attempted assassination or been assassinated, it's actually pretty high.
yeah.
especially that's like what we know too. There's probably way more. So let's look at it this way. Let's peel the onion back for a second here. We always talk about the youth and how either dumb or crazy or like just how social media is like changing and controlling these guys' lives, right? And how the Whoa Vickies and all these people are supporting these SoundCloud rappers with crazy face tats and the Cardi B's and the Kim Kardashians. At some point soon, that is the core that is going to control the politics and the presidency and all that. Like we are set up, and I know everyone always says is like, oh, we're fucked. The youth's going to take over. They're not lying. They're not wrong. At some point, they're going to be the people like us.
No, those people. I mean, they grow up eventually. I mean, everyone's ever looked at the like youth generation and like these people are fucking retarded. And then
that's a good point because I guess we were called stupid.
Yeah, like, and I feel like the things we did like weren't like that crazy, but it definitely is like, it definitely like tumbles to see, it feels like it's getting, put. Obviously, it's getting pushed into like a more hardcore direction because, like, I mean, just look compared to like our time, like look at like the main rappers like Eminem, and now look at like fucking, even like the smooth, like white guy, like fucking Post Malone, he's still got tattoos all over his face and shit, but like it's like, and we've talked about him, like where the fuck do you go after that? It's like
it's you can take that for a ton of different genres too, though. Like you could say NBA, right? The NBA before Allen Iverson, like nobody didn't wear a suit to the warm-ups. No one was super tatted up. No one was like had dread or cornrows and stuff. And then I watched this documentary, and it was like I was watching documentary about how the NBA when like it changed, and it was like when Iverson one day showed up in the sweatsuit, and someone else is like, I can wear a sweatsuit and stuff. So you can look at like back in the 80s and 90s, everything's like cookie cutter, clean, boring, and by the 2010s, everyone's just like, hell yeah, let's go. Like it's crazy. Where do you go next? I don't know.
Yeah,
people are just gonna keep getting crazier.
It's just
crazy times.
Let's just off ourselves. I'm just excited. I'm just excited to see where
it should be interesting. Well, like the midterms are like in a few weeks actually.
So like part of me now is like what I liked about Trump at least winning, which has nothing to do with politics or anything. Like I like seeing like people cry, like these fucking like all the people when Trump got elected. Because Rachel's a elementary school teacher who's, I think, most teachers are liberal, I want to say. Is that the right term?
Yeah, especially in Washington.
So, like, they had to, like, have, like, a day of sorrow for, like, the kids and stuff because there were, like, teachers coming in crying and like, telling all the kids it's going to be okay. Like, just, like, those type of people to me are fucking
raising a bunch
pathetic.
of more liberal pussies, dude.
Yeah, they're fucking
I hate
pathetic.
to say it, but... I mean, bottom line is that's what it comes down to is we're raising SoundCloud rappers and wussies, dude. That's like what we're doing in life.
So I've been on this Steven Crowder kick. He's like my favorite fucking dude. And like I said, I don't really give a shit about politics, but I have like now that I've watched a lot of his things, I would say like I'm a pretty like conservative dude and from the point where I don't give a shit, but I would like if I had to like choose certain things, but I don't like people that like to throw shit in my face, and I think that's what isn't that what liberal people do? I'm not sure. I'm just
Are you gonna put a
100%
"Don't
get.
tread on me" flag outside your house like Ken has?
See, I'm not like that. I'm just more like I'm more like, why you gotta fuck with that person if it's not hurting you type of guy, you know. But so the Crowder dude, there's this TechCrunch guy called Josh Constine, and he interviewed him on a show. So this Josh Constine dude wants all these social media networks like Facebook, Twitter to monitor replies. So he wants more regulation on, say, like, you make this crazy post, like I shouldn't be able to reply to, like, you could say whatever the fuck you want free speech wise, but I shouldn't be able to reply to you and, you know, with something, you know, aggressive. And that all these social media companies need to monitor. So basically also what he was saying, like they need to make it so, like, if I reply to you and say something that gets me banned, like, they need to figure the fuck out how I can't, like, to not let me make a new account to come back and say more shit to you type of stuff. And that was like his big thing. And then this Crowder dude was just laying into him. And he said this is what he said. And he said it is the white male's responsibility to make, you know, all other oppressed people feel better, is kind of what his, like, big time point of the article was, even though he writes for TechCrunch and it's, you know, like
Yeah, but he's probably a San Fran guy, and that's just how they are.
Dude, you should see this guy's like, can you see this? Look at this fucking guy.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I pictured.
Look at his hair. What in the fuck?
I pictured him with rimmed glasses, though.
I need to link. I'll find what the video is called, but it is.
Well, remember when we first started, though?
Fucking irritating, because the dude talks. He's like speaks like condescending, and he's just a fucking massive douche. And it's kind of hard to explain. But, like, I was up until like 3 a.m. watching all of, like, just, it's like an hour-long interview, and I'm just, you know, I was just sucked into it.
You were deep. Remember when we first started and I talked about the Kind of Funny guys and how they basically ended a lifelong friendship with one of their founders because he did the Women's National Day, like a day of peace, you know, like peace and quiet on that. Remember that? And there's like that huge like thing. That's like what those dudes are now, are like the white knights in like gaming and stuff. So when like someone gets picked on and everything, they're like, we need to have more like in comments, and you know, this people need to have more reviews on this and stuff like that.
Turn it off. You're offended.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like it's like we can't keep softening up everything, because at some point there will be a breaking point where it's just like we live in a social media, like, it's going to be even more fake. Like, it's a fake world if you think that you can come in here and say whatever you want with no repercussions. If you go out and have an argument at a bar over who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron, like, you have to know that it might get heated and stuff might get spit back at you. But you can't, like, if you're on social media in this bubble with no replies, you're going to just be a puss, dude.
Yeah, and that's what he was kind of like. He's like, we need to monitor replies on what people are saying. Like, and then the Crowder dude would be like, all right, give me an example of abuse. And he's like, you know, like physical threats. And he's like, well, that's already in the terms of service of Twitter. You can't fucking threaten people with, you know, violence. And he's like, well, and then he starts asking, he's like, do you support like Antifa and like all these other oh, okay, he's like a huge Black Lives Matter supporter. And he's like, so basically he was like, on Twitter, you should have to put in your phone number. Every single account should have to put in your phone number. And that's how you track, like who has made a new account, so you can like just ban the phone number. Cause, you know, most people only have one phone number. But then the Crowder dude's like, okay, so Black Lives Matter, which is an organization, so you're telling me that they should have to put in a phone number for their whole organization? And he's like, no. And he's like, you support Black Lives Matter, right? And he's like, yeah. So I mean, he just fucking is just like, I just love watching him argue, because sometimes when you're like watching an argument or like a debate, like the dude you're usually rooting for like starts losing and you're like, fuck, you know. But he literally just like, he's literally, and he's a comedian too, so he like makes some style. I mean, I would fuck him, but yeah.
Good rant, Kyle.
Thanks, man.
You gotta meet the guy.
So this project that I've been working on, this drinking device, I have a Discord, and I have people where I have, a bunch of topics in there for the stuff that I'm doing. And then I finally told the people, I'm like, I haven't really said anything to anybody, like, this is my idea. I showed them like a picture of the 3D printed prototype, and then I showed them a picture of like what the art's gonna look on it, like what it does. And it was just like, there wasn't that many people talking, but it was just like fucking crickets. They're just like, because I asked all of them if you like drink and stuff, and and some of them said like I do, but I don't really know how like old they were. And then I showed it, and then people are just like, they just didn't say anything. So I was like, oh, cool. Cool. I mean, there was some people in there like, I'm 16, I'm 17, but then I was like, they don't fucking get it. They don't understand.
They don't
That ain't the demo.
Yeah, it's not the demo people that, fucking losers inside gaming.
No.
Fucking, just kidding, man.
So, yesterday I did that solo event, and whew,
How'd you do?
You get poopied on?
dude, let me tell you. So, do you know how the point system works in it?
It's kills and placement.
Yeah, so basically it starts at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon and it goes till 9. And you can play as many matches as you want in that 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So like 3 eliminations is a point, 5 eliminations is another point, 7 eliminations is another point, and then you get a point for top 10, top 3, and winning. So you can get a max of 6 points in each game. If you get like 7 kills and you win the game, 6 points.
That's it.
And yeah, so you have to get to 20 points.
20?
You have to get to 20 to get like a pin. They could do prizes later on, but right now it's just like a pin.
Yeah.
And the first match you play, it's just everyone could be a different skill level. And then when you get points, like say if you have 4 points, you're going to be in a whole lobby of people that have like 4 points.
Oh,
geez.
Close to 4 points. So I got up to 10 points. Let me tell you, the sweatiest lobbies I have.
Oh my god.
Every single player you come up against is better than you.
Really?
It hurt the confidence. It hurt the confidence quite a bit.
Oh well, you got to 10 though. That's halfway.
But you can only solo it, right?
Yeah, it's solos right now. Duos are next week.
Jesus.
So that's actually a really smart. When we talked about it originally, I didn't really know how it was broken down. But they probably got so many damn people to queue up right then.
Oh, dude, it was like the first few times I tried to queue up, it was like too many. We had too many buses. We don't have enough buses. More are on the way. Too many.
Dude,
people.
that's yeah.
But like what I was
crazy.
thinking when I was playing this was like, so this is like skill-based matchmaking, right? You're in those lobbies with people with the same amount of points as you, and like just public lobbies, you can get anyone, right? Mix of skill, just random.
Yeah.
Imagine if they did what Call of Duty did and just, every single public match is skill-based matchmaking. That game would die in a week.
You'd already be done playing it.
Yeah, because you need to like get those. Like if you start moving up a little bit and then you just do nothing but lose, like how would that be fun?
Yeah, you just get your ad.
You wouldn't play. You would buy a new account. You would literally buy a new.
When we play like squads or duos, kind of like I don't mind if we come up against a good team. Like sometimes it's fun, like mid-match, like you get into a good squad.
Yeah.
You win a fight, and then sometimes it's fun to kill bad players or whatever. But imagine going up against a team that was just better than you, or just like absolutely, it would just be a terrible experience.
Yeah, you just get dominated. Like
Yeah,
you
like
just
I'm-
whimper
like,
away from a from.
It would
a
kill the
raid.
game.
Yeah, so like
It
when we're
would
playing
literally
duos, like I don't mind if we have a couple of good fights and on our way to victory, but like not every single team you come across.
Yeah. Now, was it something where like people would just like would the final circles be crazy with a lot of people?
No, because like the way they did it, so like how you get points for kills, right? You're trying to get to 20.
Yeah.
So as people just figured out that like it's much easier just to do a hot drop and try to get 3 kills and get a point and then re-queue up.
Yeah.
So like later, like when it was down to like the last half hour or whatever, you'd have 50 people dead in like 20 seconds.
Oh,
If everyone's
geez.
just dropping right away. It's like, dude, I got to get my kills and get on to the next game.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, they should wait like the victories a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But then you get those late games where there's still like 20 people left. But.
Yeah, because I guess even on a hot drop, if you dropped a gun, I guess you still have to get 3 fucking kills though. So like when you move up in lobby strength, like you're not gonna find 3 people on the hot drop with no gun.
So I was saying like how much kills are weighted in this or whatever. Like when we play duos, because I'm gonna play with Joker or maybe play with you, Kyle, if you're around.
Yes.
Something like 6 to 9 or something like that. But can you imagine how fast people are gonna be ending people?
Oh, I know.
Oh, it's gonna be
It's gonna be instant.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even have revives on. It should just be you're dead.
Right?
There's no way you're getting revived. We ran up against some guys 2 nights ago where it was one of those situations where you're like, all right, those guys were really good and we won. That's a good feeling. But then you also run into some of those times that you just get worked and you're like, yeah, those guys are really good.
But what I hope they change about these events that they're having right now. So right now it's cross-platform, right? It's PlayStation, mobile, PC.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they just need to make it console versus console and PC versus PC because I get killed
tell.
by so many. Oh, you could 100%, dude.
Yeah, they can do things on like. So I was watching I just came across it on Reddit. But it was a building tutorial. So to double ramp, and then instead of just doing a 180 and just continue to ramp, you put a roof and then you power edit through the corner because that protects you from getting shot. And so I was like practicing it last night, but it was so much slower than they do.
Because you need to go into your settings and turn your editing to 0.1 instead of 0.25. It's like a tenth of a second on the edit.
Oh, really?
Because right before it was like a whole second and like you had to hold the edit, but now you can just tap and it's a tenth of a second.
Yeah, why does it? I wonder why it does that.
I don't know, something with console latency probably or something like that. But like now you can turn it down to a tenth of a second to edit.
Oh, I might have to be doing that there. A tenth of a
Yeah, I
second.
won't be doing
press.
that. F that noise.
Why not though? But
fighting. I'm gonna keep fighting how I know how to fight.
But why? I mean, there's no difference in it though. Like you want to edit, so you want to edit. Like, what does pressing the B button have outside of editing? You know. What does the B button do?
B is
pull up builds.
Oh, okay. See, but yeah. So I mean, it's
the only bad thing about like you can do custom keybinds now, but like it's just too hard for me to like change it or find something that I liked or whatever. The only bad thing about like the quick edits, like now that they added where you can be a tenth of a second by hitting, you just pretty much tap in, you can edit.
Yeah.
It's when like if you're in a build fight and you need to switch to your gun, sometimes it'll try to edit the ramp.
Oh, I gotcha.
That's too quick.
So short press would. Okay, I see. I fucking get it.
So if you have a scuff though, you can make the back buttons like your jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
That's tight.
Well, you can do that on the Elite controller, but it changes everything. So it's like you have to either go with it, but then say you start figuring that out on your controller, you go to your buddy's house for Thursday night fucking football, and you're like the Wise are kind of doing entertaining. So like, hey, you want to get a game of Fortnite? Then you take his controller, and then it's gonna be super uncomfortable. You're used to using the paddles, and does it really help that much? I don't know.
That was a very specific example of
Thursday night football. Is you can jump and aim at the same time.
Yeah. Speaking of Thursday night football, what the fuck? Jimmy said a fucking dish tech is over. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Does that how he gets his internet?
No. Why does that make him so he can't do his show, man? I put my baby down for the show, dude. This is early nap time.
Yeah, and you asked last night what time, and it's just
I had a babysitter kind of lined up, but then she's going out of town and was like, I can only come for 2 hours, and I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just not deal with it.
You call her a bitch?
See, guys, I'm not lying, not fake news.
You call her a straight bitch to her face?
No,
fucking two-eyed squared ass bitch.
Sometimes I just always think, like, is it worth their time to spend 30 minutes in a car, come watch? Like, what if she falls asleep? Then they literally came over to watch her for 15 minutes, and then she sleeps for an hour and a half, and then they have to drive 30 minutes.
Were you gonna pay her?
No.
Then it's worth your fucking time. If they're just gonna sit there, maybe she's looking cute. Maybe she's looking good. You know?
I don't know.
Well, maybe she's looking hot that day. You need something to motivate you.
Mm-hmm.
What if you got your nanny pregnant like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
That'd be a bad day.
And then still win the governor?
Well, he covered the shit up. I don't think his wife was even. Maybe she was. I don't remember. I'm just making up shit as I go.
I was trying to find this note I had, but I can't figure out where the heck it is.
I posted this this wristband. I'm not sure. Like, do kids think wristbands are cool? I don't know. Me and Colby, we just would go on like tangents and be like, "Fuck it, let's order like this amount of wristbands just because." So I have literally like 1,000 of them that say like my jerk off hand.
What does it say? I can barely. It's kind of blurry.
My jerk off hand.
Oh yeah.
And so I mean, it sucks. It sucks. Fucking, I've sold them before. A couple bucks. But then then I like look at 200 on in the stuff. I'm like, fucking a, like I gotta print out the sticker, put it on it, package them all up and shit. And I'm like, fuck. So I would always like, it would be a system. It would be like, fuck, man, I can make it easy. A couple $100 right now. Let's sell something on Snapchat. And then I fucking have to pack them all. And I'm like, god damn, that was not worth that couple $100. So me and Colby were actually doing them.
Now I pack them.
I make the orders. He packs them. We do a little split, but. I literally have
dropped 80 off at the post office yesterday.
Yeah, I literally have just thousands. I don't even know what the fuck I think when I order them, but I literally have fucking thousands of them, and like there's probably like 2,500 that say send nudes that I was selling them during the send nudes phase. But then I was like, this fucking sucks.
But now sell them on the street corner.
Yeah, I probably could, but I think selling them for $3.99 with free shipping isn't too bad. I mean, it makes it worth me and Colby's time. And you wouldn't think that people like my jerk off hand, that's super immature, but
people buy them.
But people fucking buy them, I guess.
I bet you won't sell out those My Dick Smells Like Cheetos ones, though.
Oh, I forgot about those ones. Maybe I'll give them a discount on that. But I mean, it sounds so stupid, but I posted it on Snapchat. I'm like, fucking A, I have so many of these, and there's like 100 people that were like, dude, where do I buy those? And I'm like, well, fuck, maybe I will put them up for sale. But maybe I can get some, like, because they're not like, what sucks is they get you. So you want to order 100 of them, it's like $1.50, and you're like, fuck, like that seems like a lot per. But if you want to order 500 of them, it's like 45 cents. But then they're like 1,000 of them, it's 24 cents. So you're like, fuck it, let's just get 1,000, and then it ends up, then you got all these ones you don't sell.
Supply and demand, man.
Yeah. Pretty fucking cool ass story. What's this motherfucker saying? This game.
About $5.
We just hit Atlas Empire, man. What's he saying? Email sent. Godspeed. He just emailed 3,000 people with the new alpha version. He said there's some new shit in the game that did a full reset. So we're in this alpha version. I get super into my game, and then you just out of nowhere, they're like, all right, new build's up, and they just erase your whole fucking life. I sat there and I battled for my territory, and then he just erases it like that.
What a dick.
Yeah. Cool.
I bet you Burns won't even download your game.
Yeah, I will.
Whoa!
See, I mean...
Burns is still pissed you never sent him that jerky.
Yeah, dude, I still need that.
Dude, I sent one and they didn't pick it up or something, so it sent all the way back, and it was still good, so it would make it to your house fine. Maybe that's what I'll do today. Maybe I'll make some. And maybe I'll use the wristband money to buy the meat. Play it smart.
Or you can use the wristband to beat your meat.
That'd be cool. Wait, imagine just jerking off and then looking at a wristband that says my jerk off hand. Like, that's uncomfortable.
Dude, that gives me an idea for a good one, a good wristband. Don't buy it though, because you're gonna have 1,000 of them. It could say something like he's watching you, or like, are you sure you want to do this?
Jesus is watching.
Did you just finish? Question mark.
We should actually just come up with one on the show. Too much thought. Well, what would be what's a cool trending one that would happen? Cool.
Yeah, what's trending nowadays? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention. I just know I wonder if people would have. There's a market for the send nudes one, because that's the one I have. Fucking tons of colors and just tons of bullshit.
Just add them on for an extra $1. Say for $1 more you can get one of these.
If I knew how to do that. Interesting thoughts there, ladies and gentlemen.
I have another topic.
All right, hit us with it. We'll close out with it.
So, it's kind of political again.
Oh, great.
So ads on YouTube, your Twitch, your everything right now are mostly these political ones, right? Like, Dino Rossi's not for you. And then like the next ad you get is Kim Schreier is wrong for you. So it's like no one's ever right. Here's one I don't like. This is a nationwide ad. I don't want to say the word cringe, but I get like so upset that they use this that it almost makes me like even more anti take away the guns. But the gun ads that say go vote for 40 whatever, 404, 401, whatever it is, I'm saying it wrong. Call me wrong right now. But what they do is they start with like the sirens and stuff and like the kind of shock, and then they have the images of the kids leaving Parkland, like walking out with their hands up, you know, from the school shooting. And it's like, do you not want more of these? Vote this. I think it is so fucked up that they use that image.
Yeah.
Like that's then I started talking to my wife about it, and I'm like, all right, the process to do this has to be, it's not a one guy like he made a YouTube video and uploaded it. Like this is a team of people who have sat in meetings and discussed, okay, maybe we shouldn't use this much of these people whose classmates just died. Let's use this one. It's more impactful. This is going to really tug on their, like, someone does that, and that person is fucked in the head, dude.
Yeah, it's like saying, like, say, like, vacation.com showed, like, videos of Puerto Rico, and they're like, hey, come to Cabo next time, you know? Like,
no, that's a perfect
yeah,
example.
and then people will argue, say, like, well, but that initiative, like, directly would impact, you know, the school shooting. I guarantee that the school shooting probably would have still happened, whether guns, you know, there were limits on guns or not.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but like all the political ads, I can't handle it.
It's just like
everything is just like that. Like basically, it's like there's no political ad where someone's like, "My name is this, and I would like to do this, this, and this." It's always like, "Do not vote for my opponent, or everyone will die."
Dude, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, or just crazy ones.
Even if it's a political ad for someone that I like or would vote for, I'm just like, you don't want to watch this nonsense.
Yeah, it's like some high school petty shit, you know.
It's weird. It's weird that's how it's like still politicked, to where they think that these things are like so impactful that they're paying money to do that. I guarantee you, not even being an expert in that field, I guarantee you could spend that money on a better marketing campaign than a YouTube ad targeting me saying, don't vote for Dino Rossi. Back in 2000, he did a program where he bought foreclosures and they turned around and sold them for more money. Dino doesn't care about you. He cares about the money. That is a 100% real ad. I've seen it so many damn times. It almost makes me want to vote for Dino Rossi because obviously he knows how to flip houses and shit. Like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, there's like one guy running in my district or whatever, and like the attack ads against him are like,
he is for health care for everyone, but he didn't even offer it to his part-time employees at his coffee shop.
Dude, that was a really good voice. I want to try one.
I should do political ads.
Hey, we should do let's make a fake political ad right now about Jimmy. So, anti. So we're running against Jimmy for
I got it.
Okay, I'll do it.
So there's duos coming up in the next few weeks for a Fortnite event. Don't choose Jimmy as your partner, as he will never pick you up or fight his opponent.
That was a good one. I liked it. Chaos X Silencer, also known as Jimmy, is for small business. But all he cares about is the YouTube views.
All about the bottom line.
Jimmy's content is not very good.
I like how you waited.
I was trying to go with something new.
You just ended with not very good.
I was like, the title of Jimmy's videos is not what the video contains. He's trying to get you to click that video so he can make more money. He doesn't care about his viewers. Vote for Kyle or Mr. Technical Difficult today.
Jimmy's a cunt.
In 2015, he changed his content completely. Don't find anything weird about that. Vote for someone you can trust. Minnesota Burns just doesn't upload content.
Do you really want Kyle being the mayor of your city? In 2015, he called a hooker pretending that his child was left behind in a hot vehicle.
Dude, we would all be mostly you guys would be so screwed. Like,
they'd be up there, dude. I'd be done before it even began.
Dude, just think about like if you woke up one day and you're like, hey, the next 5 years, I'm dedicating my life. I want to be the mayor of, I don't know, St. Paul, wherever you're at. Like, I'm going to be the mayor. and you get all the way through the process, and you're doing all the stuff, kissing babies and everything, and then right towards the end, it's the ad time.
Right towards the end, they hit Kyle with the ad.
Listen to what Kyle said on a podcast 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I fucking hate Mexicans.
We should put together. I should just have somebody put together like a hit piece on myself with like all the shit I've ever said. Sorry, I've been looking up this person. So speaking of cunts, there's like this Kashama Sawant. She's a fucking she's a Seattle councilwoman.
Oh, so this topic actually sparked some brain flow over there. I like it.
Yeah, well, I saw it the other day because Joey retweeted it. So basically, this cunt. So Paul Allen just died.
Oh,
And then she starts going off on him like he spent $250 million on the biggest yacht in the world. He owned 2 more yachts and a fleet of private jets. Then he did the whole Quest Field thing, and he left the Seattle city with a $425 million tab, like for like some other so just went off on all this bullshit. Like, how the fuck do you do that when somebody dies?
because it's like everything we're saying, man. You got to push your agenda, whatever you can. Like using.
Well, basically, like how it's become is I think of it like this. So people have figured out that like drama or like controversial stuff is more appealing than like watching something be on there like this is what I want to do and this is how we're gonna do it. We're all gonna come together. It's basically try to make your opponent look worse than they can make you look. And people vote for the less of two evils.
Yeah, but then she was also just like, Paul Allen helped strike down initiative whatever that would tax the rich even more. Like, why the fuck would he not want to do that? Like, why the fuck would he want to get, he's probably already gives billions, millions.
That's the thing, dude. I know you're talking about when I saw it retweeted and it was like, how can you support somebody after the day of one of the wealthiest people in the world dies and they're just like, let's push my agenda now. Like, how do you support that? It's just
Seattle is like
Seattle's the worst.
Yeah, they're fucking insane to me. Like they don't even I don't even get like what the thought like it's hard for me to think of like when I hear wild shit like that. Like, that's just not a person on Twitter saying it. Like, that is a city council member for Seattle basically like, well, fuck, he did all this shit, fuck him. Like,
yeah, it's like Seattle's the worst.
When you have $1 billion fucking dollars times 10, like, you can't do everything right. Like, he's done so much fucking good. Like, you can't do, like, everything fucking right. Like, cool, you bought a $250 million yacht. Like, it's your money. Like, I like that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't get. Like,
let me ask if you guys have both seen this one. I know you have, Kyle, but the person where it's like, dang, I don't want to use him again. Some guy just like Jeff Bezos. We'll use him. Makes $1 billion a day. Something comes out where it's like, oh, he makes. Okay, we'll use the Canelo guy. Canelo just signed a $350 million deal. So by the end of the contract, he'll make $192,000 a day is how much his contract's worth. Have you seen the tweets and stuff being like, imagine if he just gave of 1 day's worth of everything to every person in the US, they'd all have money. Have you seen that one?
People are fucking retarded.
He values the money then.
People are literally
you've
fucking
seen that
retarded.
though, right?
Like,
where it's like if
he just gave him $1 million,
that's just like the jealousy approach, man. Like,
I could just see Kyle's blood boiling when he sees those ones.
Like, why in the fuck would you want? Like, to me, like I would be like, I know he can't because it would be a bad look, but I would honestly, if people said that shit to me, like if I somehow made $100 million and people were saying like, dude, if you just gave $50,000 to all these people, I would say like, fuck those people. They did not earn this $100 million. Why in the fuck would I do that for anybody? Obviously, I would help people and do stuff like that, but when people start being like, you should do that, like, fuck you, I shouldn't do anything. You want to know why? Because I put my whole fucking life into getting to this moment. Like, that was I fucking earned this shit. Like, you didn't earn shit, Like, hey, maybe I'll go donate it to some fucking foundation of, people with, like disabilities or something. I'm not going to give my money to a fucking poor person who is just poor because they're lazy, And the majority of people that you see, drug problems, why the fuck would I give $50,000 to a heroin addict living on the streets? Why? I avoided that shit. Many other people avoided that shit. Obviously,
Yeah.
in
Well, I
like,
mean, what you could do, Kyle, instead of like giving them the money directly, maybe you start a foundation that builds housing for the homeless and helps them clean up, and then they can earn their own living. Why would you just hand them money?
yeah, there's way more thing. Like when people, that's more what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't fucking help the heroin addict, but like, you know what's gonna happen when I give a heroin addict $50,000?
They're gonna go
That
buy
doesn't turn their
$50,000
life
heroin.
around. They're gonna do more fucking heroin because they don't have to suck somebody's dick to buy it. They can just go fucking buy a shitload of heroin at bulk discount.
You're better off by putting the money into a foundation that would like build houses for that person and put them in like education and like a rehab center than like just handing them the money.
Yeah, and to be 100% realistic, that still probably doesn't fucking work because they love heroin. Like, regardless, like how many. So think about this. And this sounds fucked up, but a heroin addict, man. A fucking heroin addict on the street. So what is this? There's a stat. I'm gonna fucking butcher it, but somebody has to go to rehab like 8 to 10 times before they clean up their shit. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna give this heroin addict $25,000. They're gonna clean up their shit. Fucking go to rehab however many times. Yada yada yada. That person is gonna run out of that fucking money, and then they're gonna go back to the dick sucking heroin life. Now, do I feel bad? I don't know. It's definitely a touchy subject. Do I feel bad for?
Well, Kyle, what you said before is that if you could live the life of someone for a day, you said you would want to be a drug addict, so you could understand.
Yeah. See, it's hard for me to relate to a drug addict. And I've seen a lot of people I know. Some people have died, from overdosing on, and I just could never see it. But now the only thing I can necessarily like relate to is like food or sex.
Oh yeah, sex
So
addict.
there'll be times where it's like, okay, I'm gonna eat well today. Like I'm gonna eat some fucking veggies and shit. 1 o'clock comes by, I haven't eaten shit all day, and I'm like, God damn it, I am fucking hungry as shit. Like fuck all the other stuff I said about eating good. Like I'm gonna go eat some Thai food and just eat a fucking 6 pounds of fried rice. And I literally have no control. I cannot control myself, and I have a feeling that's how what being a drug addict is like. Somebody who's recovering, and cool, you recover, awesome. I'm not. It's not like I fucking hate you because you were a heroin addict, but the same thing goes. This is usually how the relapse shit happens. Like recovering heroin addict, like they're doing fucking awesome and stuff. And then a boy hits them up and they're like, hey, you want to come hang out for a little bit? And they see their buddies like, oh, like they got heroin. And do they want to do heroin? No. But does the fucking thought of eating that cheeseburger just sound fucking amazing right now,
Call on me. I'm backing you up here with some stats. This is off alcoholism though, but it's still rehab based.
Yeah.
So this is from a study. This is an article from 2017 from Recovery Village. Yada yada yada. People participate in the treatment programs for alcoholism still tend to have a high relapse rate. Statistics will vary. Yada yada yada. The statistics are very discouraging. It's reported that less than 20% of the patients who receive treatment for alcoholism remain alcohol free for an entire year. Looking at the alcohol
20%?
relapse statistics. Yeah, looking at the alcohol relapse statistics can be discouraging. In an 8-year study of almost 1,200 addicts that showed long-term abuse, the research showed that around one out of every 3 people are sober for less than a year and will stay that way. Is the relapse rate? So 1 of every 3. Sorry, that was really hard to read because it was like medical journal thing, so it was all
and I'm not saying like I'm definitely if you got chemical issues, drugs, alcohol, like I'm not saying like fuck you, like I don't care about you, like I'm sure you're a cool person, but it's just something I can't necessarily like relate to because I can't be like it's one thing like, and I maybe it would if I was a huge fat person and I fucking ate like couldn't resist eating like shit. That's detrimental to my health, and so such as like alcohol or drugs, like to me, once I nearly overdosed on heroin, I would probably stop doing fucking heroin. Or, if I start doing some dumb shit that are detrimental to my life, such as like my family abandoning me, like I would probably stop doing fucking heroin and look for alternatives inside myself. Like, because I've gotten heavy before, 235 pounds is not, for me, that's not really that much heavy. And I'm like, fucking A, like I can't do this, and I switched my lifestyle and I guess that's, and a lot of people do recover, from drugs and shit. So good on them. But I can't relate to like and this is maybe just me being naive. I can't 100% relate to the whole, like I got to fucking go find a whole squad of people to do this for me, and so they're going to put you in this unrealistic scenario in rehab where everything is perfectly happy. And then you get out and then you have to face the real world again. And that's usually when people say, fuck it, and get back into the shit. So, and that's always been my thought. It's like, if I ever needed to fix something, I got to fix it myself, rather than, a team of unrealistic expectations fixing my shit, because that's not the real world.
Let's just say $50,000 you were given to everyone, right? Demi Lovato, as of August 5th, 2018, had a net worth of $33 million. So there just goes to show you, if you gave these people $5,000 and they had a drug problem, the odds are they would still find a way back to do it.
I think it's more like more like a personality disorder, or, something along those lines, rather than like, because there's lots of, there's lots of people in life that do things the right way and don't fuck shit up with. It's just crazy how with like the drugs, like just drugs and alcohol in general, and now they pretty much say like, now if you're like an alcoholic or a drug addict, like it's not your fault. Like, isn't that just the fairy tale fucking thing? Hey, it's not your fucking fault that you decided to start doing drugs and then it eventually got into heroin. Like, that is not your fault. That's just it's just part of like society now. Isn't that fucking weird?
Yeah, that is weird, and also reminds me of this show on Netflix. Well, it used to be on TV, but it was called Adam Ruins Everything. Have you seen that guy? He's like you've probably seen him.
Yeah,
he's been on College Humor. He was on one of the last ones, was saying that Tylenol wouldn't be like legal over the counter if it wasn't created when it was, and like in the pockets of the government and stuff. Just little things like that. Like Tylenol, the recommended like dose is like 6 pills, right? Like to take throughout a day. But the amount that you can like kill yourself on is 8. So 2 more pills. And then he like broke it down to being like, where else is there anything in life where you can be this close to like, this is the recommended and this is death? Like, yeah. There's nothing like that. That's why it's so dangerous.
It's like that one poisonous fish where if you eat too much of it, you die. But lots of people eat a little slice of it. Living on the fucking edge, huh?
Oh, guys, I gotta get going.
Oh, fuck off. Why? What are you doing?
Gotta get ready to stream.
Okay, I'll probably stream too. You want to stream with me?
Good show, guys.
I can
stream
play yesterday
until she wakes up if you guys want.
Well, let's make that shit happen right now.
One's
a bit. 15 minutes.
Hey, what's the title? What's the title? What's the title?
Is I don't care about drug addicts.
Eff Drug Addicts. Yeah.
There you go.
What time are you streaming?
I might stream in like an hour and a half. I got a few things to do here.
In an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, 1 o'clock. All right, deal.
All right. Good show, guys. We'll see you later. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.